You know how these giant companies make their biggest, most audacious moves? They don't just wake up one day and decide to drop billions of dollars. No way. There's almost always a secret playbook, a trial run that paves the way for the main event. And honestly, one of the most brilliant examples of this comes from the world of heavy-duty trucks, specifically from Tata's long game to conquer the global market.
So when the news dropped that India's Tata Motors might be looking to acquire the huge European truck maker Iveco for $4.5 billion, the big question on everyone's mind was how? How does a company even prepare for a move of that size? I mean, how do you practice for something so massive and so complex?
Well, the answer isn't in some boring boardroom simulation or a business school textbook. It's actually found in a real-world deal they made over 2 decades ago. So to really understand where Tata is going, we've got to look back at where they've been.
All right, let's set the stage. We're going to rewind the clock to the early 2000s. At the time, Tata Motors was a powerhouse in its home country, but it had this burning ambition to be so much more.
Back then, Tata was absolutely the king of the road in India, no question. But on the world stage, a totally different story. They were the underdog. The global truck market was just dominated by these European heavyweights. We're talking Daimler, Volvo, Triton. To even step into the ring with guys like that, Tata knew it had to do more than just build good trucks. It had to learn to think, to operate, and to compete like a true global giant.
So what do you do when you need a crash course in global business? Well, you find the perfect classroom, right? And for Tata, that classroom was all the way in South Korea.
And check out this timeline. It really shows just how long-term they were thinking. In 2004, Tata Motors went out and bought Daewoo's truck division. Now, this wasn't some random purchase. This was step one, the first critical piece in a strategy that was going to play out over the next 20 years and lead them right to Iveco's doorstep.
And this is so important. Tata didn't buy Daewoo for its factories or its market share. Nope, they bought it for the experience. It was, and I love this term, a live classroom. It was a place where they could learn, get their hands dirty, make some mistakes, and build the capabilities they'd need to compete globally, all without betting the entire company.
And inside that classroom, that's where they wrote the very playbook they're using today. So let's dive in and break down exactly what they learned.
You don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to this quote from Tata's own executive director, Girish Wagh. He says the deal helped them understand how to compete, how to handle cross-cultural integration, and how to create synergy. You see, this wasn't some happy accident or a side benefit. It was the entire point of the deal.
Okay, so let's boil it all down. What were the 3 main lessons in this playbook? Number 1, they learned how to go head-to-head with the big European guys on their own turf. Number 2, they got really good at that tricky business of cross-cultural integration, blending Indian and Korean work styles so they actually worked together. And finally, number 3, they figured out how to create real, actual product synergy, making the whole thing way more valuable than just its separate parts.
And this synergy stuff, it wasn't just corporate speak. It was real, tangible stuff. Look at this. They designed a truck cabin in India, and boom, it became the standard for all of Daewoo's heavy trucks. Or how about this? Key components, what they call aggregates, that were developed in India became the foundation for a whole new line of Daewoo's light-duty trucks. That is real collaboration, creating real value.
So all of this, the competition, the integration, the synergy, it wasn't just about making the Daewoo deal a success. It was all practice. This was about creating a blueprint for something much bigger down the road.
Okay, now let's fast forward to today and this massive Iveco deal. Tata isn't walking in blind, not at all. From that Daewoo experience, they've got the playbook for integration and for developing products together. And let's not forget their other huge acquisition, Jaguar Land Rover. From that, they learned another super important lesson. When you buy a premium brand, you keep its identity and its sales channels separate to protect what makes it special. You put all that together, and what do you have? A proven strategy. The Daewoo deal was the dress rehearsal. Iveco is the main event.
This whole story leaves us with a really fascinating thought. Tata's experience proves that sometimes the most important moves a company makes aren't the biggest ones on paper. They're the ones that teach you the most. It really makes you wonder, right? What seemingly small deal happening today is just the practice run for some company's giant leap tomorrow.